He lost interest in me when I was about 13 or 14. His sin was much better than mine. So it's just kind of like the ticking clock for me. You turn to Satan and you're going to die. My mom and dad are sitting next to him and the other elders. It just leaves you wrung out, just completely wrung out. I've got to get back to save myself and my daughter. I have to, for our soul's sake. And from the back it looked just like her, and so I froze, desperate. I'm desperate for her to speak to me. I just need to hear her voice. This is Jehovah's means of taking my life. This is it. This is it. I have to die. I have to die today. This is such a sleepy kind of town. Most people go an hour and a half away to have any fun or even go out to eat because there's not much to it. Oops. And they don't care for their streets. We've got a real bad street pothole problem here. There's no money to fix it. We just live with it. The pool was right there in the corner, and that shed right there, he would take us in that shed sometimes. That shed's been here a long time. He would take us in there and have us put our bathing suits on, things like that. It was like it was his foreplay or something to getting in the pool. The shed looks dilapidated now that was by the pool. I remember it being, I don't know, I guess I thought it was fancy, like he had a pool house or something. But it looks kind of like it's going to fall down any minute now. I wish it would. Can we go? I don't want to stay here. Thank you. I was introduced to Ronnie as somebody quite Christ-like. No question in my mind. Even as a young child, I can remember the reverence that they had for this man. Every Saturday morning, go to the Kingdom Hall, and he would single me out and ask me to work in field service with him every Saturday. That's what everybody's view was. It was a privilege to work with Ronnie Lawrence door to door. After service, he always, if I was in his car group, he wanted me to go spend the night with him at his house, swim in his pool. And so to spend the night just followed. Like he would say, well, you're just going to stay the night with me now. You better just stay the night. I would say, could I just work with you, Mom, today in service? Or Dad, could I just be with you? And Dad would say, if Ronnie asks for you to be put in his group, the respectful thing to do is to just go, and we'll see you in a couple of hours. He lost interest in me when I was about 13 or 14. I became very, very rebellious, started having eating disorder problems, tried to isolate myself as much as I could. I hated the meetings. I hated the sight of Ronnie. I was promiscuous. Ronnie approached me when I was 18 and said, have you had sex? And I said, yeah, I have. And Ronnie formed a committee to get me disfellowshipped. So Ronnie kept coming by my apartment, and he told me that he was going to see to it that I was ousted from the congregation to keep his congregation clean. And I thought that ironic that the man that had molested me for so long needed to keep his congregation clean. When the Judicial Committee met with me, Ronnie was the chair of that committee, and his dad was on that committee, and one other elder. And they ask, as in all judicial committees that I've been involved in, they ask very, very personal, embarrassing questions. Not just did you have sex with this person, but did you have an orgasm? Did you enjoy it? Where did he touch you? Where did you touch him? Where did you touch her? Whatever they wanted to ask. And you felt not just humbled, but broken by the questions as you were answering them. So they feel like you should hit rock bottom. You shouldn't have any friends, any associates, no support, and that drives you right back into the organization because you feel completely lost, abandoned by people that you thought you were your friends. Maybe 6 months into that, I missed my mom particularly, but my whole family and my friends so badly that I thought my only option is to get back in. And so I had to write a letter to Ronnie, because you have to write a letter to the head of the committee that put you out. And so I had to ask him for mercy, sent him a handwritten letter asking for mercy and asking for him to let me back in. When I did finally make it back into the organization, I had just decided that the worldly life wasn't the life for me, that I was going to be the best Jehovah's Witness that I could be. And I was. I studied for every meeting like they told me to. I attended every meeting, didn't miss. And I became an example to other young witnesses. When I was about 28 or 29, after I'd been disfellowshipped the first time, when I was back in, another Jehovah's Witness young woman came to me and asked me if I had been messed with by Ronnie. I admitted that to her. She said, please go with me to the elders, which we did. They called us in. We had to accuse him face to face. They did not call the police. And if you talk about it, that's grounds for disfellowshipping, for revealing confidential talk. The overlooking of pedophiles in the organization is only because they've been taught to let the elders handle it. And I think they have faith that the elders will handle it in the best way. But they don't. If you just stay right with Jehovah, that everything else is going to work itself out. You plant yourself. Dad would say, plant yourself like a tree. Make your foundation, your root system strong with Jehovah, and you'll be well taken care of. And it just didn't pan out that way.